My name is Mariann Klay. I'm originally from Switzerland. I came to Ireland, I suppose, about 30 years ago. This farm we bought 25 years ago. We're running a stud farm here for thoroughbred flat horses. Partially they're our own mares, and we also run a boarding farm for other people's mares. It's in the heart of what is called the Kildare thoroughbred countries. So on our 76-acre farm, we have approximately 20 horses most. We have 6-7 mares of our own, and then we have boarders that stay here all year, 4 mares, 5 mares, and then we have boarders that visit during the stud season. That could be anything up to 5 or 6. The fantastic resource that was here though was the land. It's a limestone-based land, and it's a beautiful multi-species sword. We just walk up to our hay meadow, or one of them. So this is a field that I use when the foals are weaned. So in September I want this to have lovely aftergrass. So now it's closed for a cut of hay. It has loads of different species. It has yarrow, it has all these different grasses, it has some yellow rattle, it has the cuckoo flower, which is the food plant for the orange-tip butterfly. This is a field I particularly like for my weanlings, i.e. for the foals that then go to the sale, because it's a beautiful shelter. I think that is the real main plus in those hedges for the system that I have, is that I can really leave the horses out all year because they have fantastic shelter. And if they have a choice between a shelter man-made and the hedge shelter, you'll always find them under the trees. It's important to let the hedges grow naturally rather than cut them down into a box shape, which is providing much less for nature, but also for our animals, for our productive animals, be it horses or cattle. This hedge originally was very gappy, so my mom and dad and we planted a lot of hazel in it, and I think it works really well. It's a great complement for the whitethorn, and you get the hazelnuts, which is a bonus. You know, I was pure lucky that this piece of land had so much of the right ingredients. You know, it's all there. And it was just a question of not to destroy it. Stud farms generally are very keen on tidiness, on cut grass and so on. So I try to have a bit of a compromise. I cut some margins. It's also handy because I can walk the foals on that margin, and the stones, you know, don't hurt their feet. And I leave others completely uncut. We can show to people really that you can do both, and that maybe the uncut version is actually nicer than the tightly or not so tightly cut grass on the left. So it's maybe just a slow transition to redefine what we think looks appealing and aesthetic. This is a little habitat, a pond habitat that we created during lockdown when we were locked up in Swordlestown, and it's dedicated to my dad Richard. So this is a natural wildlife pond. I didn't really do anything, touch it, you know. I try to leave it alone as much as I can. There is a lot of natural regeneration, alder trees growing. And I planted this winter some mixed trees here. In Ireland here we're incredibly fortunate that laneways like this and the hedgerows form nature or wildlife corridors that connect farm to farm and further away, in this case to Sillabog, wood and so on. We have pine marten, we have badger, foxes. We have obviously a lot of deer. But it's a wonderful area for wildlife here because it's connected right back to Sillabog and further down Ballymore, Liffey area, and probably even the Wicklow Mountains. So what I like to emphasize though is that this is a business. So the sale of these foals have to pay for the running of the farm, have to pay my staff, and it's important to keep in mind that you can run a business and you can still reserve quite a lot of your energy and space for nature. And I mean, I enjoy it. I would really like to encourage my colleagues and of course younger people who get into the business of thinking more about what they could maybe leave off for nature. There are always some acres or corners that you can leave or even establish, like ponds, that's great, or planting, or reducing maybe the sort of absolute aesthetic cut, manicured approach and just become a little bit more relaxed.